Welcome back everyone, my name is Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Sunless Skies. Where we left off last time, we were flying away from the time-cloaked city of Brabazon. City, factory, whatever you want to call it. We have to investigate a revolutionary there, but we don't have any hours or anything at the moment to do so. So what we're going to do is just go fly away. We have other things on our mind. We have other docks to find. We have other events to look forward to. We still haven't found Perdurance. That is a minor annoyance of mine. Maybe it's over here. It could be over here for all I know. It could be very close to London. But we're going to explore this little area here. Try and clear some of it up. Our bat is back. There's nothing around. We'll turn southwards shortly. We've definitely left this place behind though. There's nothing out here. Looks like it's just the sky, whatever you want to call it. London has left this place behind. Few come here now. Alright, we're heading south. I'm just gonna send out my bat one more time. Oh, there's something to the south. Over here. Now we're gonna loop around the southern edge and then back up. That's sort of our goal. We'll see how long that lasts. There's something dead ahead. If it's a time thing, we're gonna ignore it. It's hard to tell how close we are to things, because sometimes they're invisible. We're about to cross the threshold of it. Oh no, it's a wreck of a ship. Perfect. I'm okay with this. The Burning Bridge. Not a great name for a ship, I might add. We'll signal the wreck, grab a crew. There's a marauder, we can turn and fight. Alright, let's turn and fight. Turning around and opening up. Stupid. Yeah. Oh, it's a reach marauder. It's not even like a... I'm pretty sure I just hit that stuff a lot. There we go. The detritus. Loot the cargo hold, which is a bulging sack, which is... souls. That's actually kind of good haul, to be fair. Alright. Now we're moving on again. So down south, around the edge, back north to London. And we'll have completed sort of this quadrant. Every once in a while, move my work mouse to make sure that it looks like I'm working currently. Where are we headed now? There's definitely some factory-looking stuff below us. That's a tackety ship. That's a guest ship. Let's leave it alone. If it doesn't come at us, we'll leave it be for now. This area has definitely seen better days. Or maybe it hasn't. Maybe it's always been this grim-looking. There's definitely something here, though. Not in terms of, like, maybe a dock. But that's clearly something of note. There's something on the edge of this territory. Let's go take a look. Yeah, all of these houses are held together by what looks like cables of some sort. Oh, it's a time thing. Ignoring the time thing. Doolin's Promise. Is there a dock around here? There could very well be. Found nothing. Okay. I'll keep looking then. We didn't bring our mining pick. So we're not getting any hours from that rock. Although the fact that our bat didn't find that rock is not great for its usefulness as a bat, as a scout. That's another guest. It's not a guest, it's actually a Takedy scout. Here? I honestly did not expect to find Takedy ships here. Oops, I took a hit. Why am I going forward? Interesting. I didn't expect to find Takedy ships out here, actually. We can seize its cargo or pillage their stores for fuel and supplies. Actually, I'll do that one. Partial success means we lost a crew. But we got a fuel and a supply. And a tale of terror. Alright, moving on then. At least we found some supplies and fuel. We need better mirrors. That's our next level. Our next level is going to be mirrors. Something dead ahead. Hope it's not another time thing. Is that a rock that we can hit? Yes. Don't run into that rock. Whatever this question mark is on the other side of this rock. And is maybe not going to be a time bubble? It's a space coffin? It's a destroyed spaceship. A black hulk in the mist, an old necropolis train. It's a long way from its route. The wreck of the boatman. A wreck drifts just ahead. Fierce winds rocket like an empty cradle. Its black and silver bulk gleams in your lights as you search its nameplates. The boatman. Captain, the signaler wants your attention. That's an Acropolis line engine. Brought the dead to the memoriam. His eyes widen, but it disappeared one eve. They said the dead woke and commandeered the train. Nonsense, I'm sure. He doesn't look convinced. We prepare to board the boatman. Your pilot grazes the wreck's hull and has to reverse. Your navigator's hand slips while winching the locomotives close. A clang resounds throughout your engine. When you finally docked, you select a few of your crew to join you. The outer door to the boatman is rhymed with frost. Or maybe it's rimmed. The bolts shriek as they're pulled across. Inside, your torchlight reveals a narrow corridor in somber black, opening into darker doorways, likely the crew cabins. There's a long moan from somewhere deeper in the engine, probably the boilers, your stoker whispers. Pressing forward through the cabins, you hear the rattle of something that might be chains. A bolt loose in the chassis, your stoker suggests, less confidently. I'm just gonna pause for 1 sec. Okay, let's continue. We are trespassing on the boatman, and we have 5 new terror. Let's explore the boatman. What has happened here? The boatman is cold and dark as the grave. Gaslight flickers on the wall, but none substantial enough to illuminate more than the empty doorways ahead. A shattered window in the gallery is responsible for the merciless cold. The source of the faint but insistent knocking is less clear. Light in hand, you wander the empty cabins and carriages. The floor of the boiler room is scarred with scorch marks. The captain's cabin is littered with pieces of furniture. There are bullets in the walls. There are no coffins aboard, but the hold is locked. A great groaning emanates from within. It's the same thing again. Let's investigate the galley. Something rattles inside. A carelessly opened cupboard expels an array of personal effects. Brass cufflinks, a conductor's whistle, pewter mugs embellished with memento mori, brass polish for the coffin fixtures, charts of the routes to memoriam, the standard equipment of the necropolis line staff. But where were the crew? Let's go to the engine room. The air is hot and dry as the heat are the heart of a work world. The incinerator has been switched on. Something is burning inside. Peering in, you can make out the remains of a bundle of black and silver uniforms smoldering in ash. A gaslight gutters and dies. You're left in darkness. How about the crew cabins? The gaslights reveal only darkness. You can see nothing inside. You pass a mirror, glimpse a skull where your face should be, the rest is mantled in shadow. Returning to the mirror, you see the glass is broken. There's a hole in the wall. Let's investigate the captain's cabin. At the end of the black-walled corridor, the captain has afforded some measure of privacy from her crew. The room is Spartan, the bed looks uncomfortable, someone has arranged her pillows, and a surprising number of moldering stuffed toys beneath her sheets in the semblance of a sleeping form. The only other furniture in the room is a barren writing desk with a journal and pen abandoned on it. Let's read the captain's log. Yay, we succeeded. Reading the captain's log provides a few clues. 11th September 1903, line manager insisted we shave a day and a half from the round trip. Navigator plotted new course. 12th September 1903, set to make memoriam in good time. 13th September 1903, scout reports wefts of unraveled time on our bearing. Have instructed to pilot to hold the course and our schedule. You haven't found a single coffin and the hold is locked from the outside. The captain would have her keys with her, but we've not found her body. Either the captain felt the need to lock the hold before abandoning her engine, or she's inside. And the door to the hold is secure against everything but your determination and a crowbar. We breached the hold. Behind the wreckage you find a row of coffins like blackened teeth. There is a sudden muffled banging, as if someone is knocking on the underside of a lid. Let's explore the hold first. There are signs of a fight. You move through the hold, which is as large as a wealthy family's mausoleum, casting your light before you. Shadows flee, revealing chains holding some of the coffins closed. Scuff marks on the floor, a few shreds of black and silver cloth. An insistent scratching comes from a coffin, knocking from another. Your signaler startles and stumbles, falling face first onto a coffin which rocks angrily. The lid slides off to reveal the boatman's captain, gagged, bound, and very much alive. The figures approach slowly, as though dragged. Your stoker shrieks. Figures appear at the hold door, mantled in shadow. What do these people want? Who are they? You raise your torch, illuminating the figures in the door. This provokes shrieks from your crew. Sallow-skinned, hollow-eyed, decaying corpses are blocking your escape. Bloody rib cages, broken skulls, exposed bone, and sloughing flesh. Cadavers. Reach for our weapons, walking corpses that cannot mean well. You reach for your pistol, the cadavers take a step back. Please, the nearest rasps. A tall, tattered man in a stoker's uniform. I'm not sure these bodies could survive any more damage. Okay. In the eerie light of your torch, you can make out the moldering corpses. They stand in the doorway, silent as the grave. Let's approach. The leader extends one bony hand, its limbs shaking from the weight of yet unsloughed flesh. He can pull off the ridiculous corpse mask. We'll introduce ourselves, though. It's only polite. The corpse nods stiffly, its fingers close around your own. There's an uncomfortable moment where you almost leave with more fingers than you started with, but eventually, and with many courteous excuse me's, you extract yourself. We're glad you didn't run away, the skeleton says. Deceased stoker sends another corpse to fetch brandy for your crew. The captain, he says mournfully, had a habit. What the brandy lacks in quality, it makes up in potency. Now, the stoker says, when the last of the glasses have been handed out, I think an explanation is required. Let's hear it out. I should apologize, he says. We've not had any visitors since the mutiny. Couldn't predict how you'd react. Driving you off with a haunting seemed safest. Almost had you, a decaying lady cackles. The fruit in her hat has fused with the exposed parts of her cranium. The stoker clears her crumbling throat. While our bodies were being transported, the captain steered us through a carelessness in time. Things have gotten tangled, you see. As far as our minds are concerned, we haven't died, but our bodies beg to differ. Vociferously. The last thing I remember for when I was alive was saying farewell to my husband, then heading to the station. He looks down at the captain in her coffin. She's getting agitated again. We've been very decent considering they tried to throw us out into the incinerator the moment we climbed out of our boxes. Anyway, we thought we might face the same treatment elsewhere, so we set up in the wild. But here we are, stuck without fuel, and we would appreciate help. The boatman was the victim of an unfortunate accident. It's now crewed and captained by the dead, who were jolted awake by the collision with loose hours. The engine is out of fuel and supplies, its living are trapped in coffins, its dead are torn between returning to London and seeking a new home. Theirs is not an eternal rest, but rather an unhappy intermission. Alright, let's speak with the happy dead. The deceased stoker leads a group of corpses eager to be off among the stars. The stoker adjusts his jaw to make his speech more intelligible. Damn thing, really. Last thing I remember from my life before was wishing life before this is wishing him goodbye. A sigh rattles through his skull. I wouldn't want him to see me like this. He gestures to the assemblage of cadavers behind him. It's the same for all of us. No idea what we'd do, what we'd go back to, or if we'd even be allowed. Better to have a fresh start. Uh-oh. Our game is pondering. something. Game? Oh, there we go. Let's speak with the unhappy dead. The beheaded chaperone speaks, rasps on their behalf. I had a nice tea shop in London, opened it with my birdie. We had a word of new strain coming up from Eleutheria. Last I know, I was on my way to the station to pick it up. She pauses to pluck a wax peach from the fracture in her skull. All this, she gestures to her skeletal form, is just an inconvenience. Coming back is an opportunity, and one I'd be fooled to miss. I'm not the only one who feels this way. Let's speak with the living. The captain and crew are restrained in coffins. Their mouths are stained with the residue of corned beef, which the dead have been feeding to them. I mean, corned beef is pretty good. The moment you remove the gag from the captain's mouth, she bursts into speech. Get us out of here! They close the coffin lids on us. I cannot bear another second. She pauses to regain a degree of self-control. I know we were a bit hasty in popping them in the incinerator, but it was horrible. Coffins bursting open, shrieking bodies wandering around, wondering where their tea was, or why they couldn't see. But please, this is a nightmare. She shudders. Alright, we'll agree to take the living home. You haul the captain out of her coffin. The dead keep their distance, perhaps sensing their help is unlikely to be appreciated. Busy savior you are? Captain whispers. Come on, lads. All aboard with the captain's train. We'll sort out what we're going to say to the line manager on the way back. We are escorting the crew of the boatman to the most serene mausoleum. Crew of the boatman leave their train for yours. Your quartermaster can arrange details of their crossing and provisioning. And we will agree to take the grumbling dead back to London. The beheaded chaperone is making pointed remarks about the contents of the deceased stoker's skull. The happy dead won't leave until they have the engine to themselves. The chaperone gasps, you would? Oh, I can smell my old tea shop already. Her voice gives out, but she conveys her feelings via sudden crushing embrace. Bones crack before she releases you. Fortunately, only hers. Your quartermaster can arrange the details of the trip back. Your quartermaster's expression suggests that they did not appreciate the reminder that the new passengers won't require supplies. That's actually true. Alright. Now the happy dead are alone. It's time to get back underway. The stoker waves. Your visit was well timed. We're running out of corned beef. Without our guests, we can burn the spare coffins. That'll get us far enough to refuel. Return to London and the mausoleum for our rewards. I'm not sure how much London's gonna want their people back. But we're not that far from the mausoleum. Let's go find out. Let's go drop those people off first. Oh, there's a star. Die now, stupid explorer. I hate that dude. Ooh, hull. No, we don't need hull. We'll get a sky story. We just need to lower our terror. It's getting a little bit high. No nightmares though yet. I kind of wish we had our mining pick though. We could totally get some more hours here. We haven't found anything to use our cannery thing on here. Or maybe we have. Maybe that's what those tentacle things were up north. And we found a ton of assaying things, which is kind of nice, so I'm not too worried about that being one of our things. I just used to like mining bronze wood, you know? It was easy. There's a time distortion there. We have 5 supplies and we're pretty close to the mausoleum, but I'm going to send out a bat again, see if there's anything else over here we can find. There is something just southwest of us. We'll quickly stop by there and take a look and then we'll keep going north. It's not very far. If it's just another time bubble, we'll just leave it alone. I don't know what it is. Oh, it's more mining. Or it might be an assaying thing. Let's take a quick look. No, it's actually mining. Okay, we're headed north. Straight north to the mausoleum, which is actually further than I thought. We'll hit London first. I just remembered that's actually the work world just north of us. For some reason I was assuming it was the mausoleum. Maybe what we'll do is we'll do a quick cut. When we get to London, we'll hand off the people, and then I'll do another cut when we get to the mausoleum, and we'll finish up both those quests in one go. I'll see you guys very shortly. And we are back. We are at London. It's time to drop off these undead monsters. Well, they're not monsters, they're people. Undead people with an unfortunate time problem. How do I drop them off? Exploring London? Deposit the dead. Home at last. Your crew will be pleased to have them off the train. All in all, your navigator admits they've not been bad passengers, despite their insistence on joining crew for the meals, watching enviously, and one regrettable instance dropping a jawbone into the stew. The padded chaperone sees her charges off the engine with efficiency and tenderness. Her charges slowly disappear into the teeming smog of London. When the last has gone, she turns to you. Would you come with me? I'm not sure how my husband will take my return. Sure. Why not? She rubs her skull. In case you couldn't tell, Captain, I am smiling. She leads you through the crowd, thoroughfares, into a quiet street just behind St. Dominic's. There's a little tea shop waiting. Her husband sits inside, while tea for three steeps. He weeps. When he eventually composes himself, you are repaid for her return, with tea as well as coin. The grumbling dead have left. I'm actually going to buy some supplies while we're here. And possibly sell some things. What are we carrying around with us? We have a lot of tea. We're taking tea to the Clockwork Sun. We have a mission for that. I'm just going to dump my souls in the bank. I don't think I need to carry them with me at the moment. Yeah. We have a ton of hours, too. We'll, gather up some hours eventually. Oh, I smashed into the thing again. We'll gather up some hours when we go back to the work world, so that we can do more of the stuff there. Apparently we're going to need a bunch of hours to do that quest line, because you can only do like 1 or 2 things at a time before your time shield runs out. I found the ruins. Oh, it's a... Oh, we can get rid of some terror. That's nice. Pay respects. Get rid of terror. Very excited to get rid of our terror. That is worth all the money to me. I'm going to hit this coffin. Boom! It's flying through space. Through the skies. We're taking it with us. Look at that. We've speared a coffin on one of our guns. We can't actually shoot it though. Oh, we can take it with us. I'm gonna take it straight to the mausoleum. Oh, as we turn it kinda... Oh shit, that's the storm. That's a bad storm. That's a storm that doesn't like us. We could go inside though. It does actually do things. I've been to one by accident. It's a terror event though. Definitely it's gonna raise our terror a little. Alright, let's interact with it. We can read a word that the lightning wrote. 61% chance of success. Oh, we can't do that actually. We really can't do anything. We can't speak to the storm. It's not happy with us. We don't have any way to get it unhappy with us. I think it flies through space, or through the sky, on its own. The broken sun is a warning that nothing may impede the progress of the Empire, not even the stars. Look at the dead sun. Both terrifying and amazing. And here's the mausoleum. Just this dark sun with the mausoleum floating above it. In this alternate world, the British Empire is clearly immensely powerful. Let's attend a funeral. Few mourners are willing to brave the long journey through the Reach to say goodbye to a loved one. We can go to a deathless funeral. Let's go to a miser's funeral. The attending priest drones soothingly as the last few mourners chatter. They come in the hope of a last-minute display of generosity. They leave frustrated and disappointed, if not surprised. Let's drop off the crew of the boatman. The captain fiddles with her cufflinks as she accompanies you to the office of the Necropolis line. Her crew have scurried away. You don't have to come in, she says, not looking at you, but the manager's not going to be pleased. If you'd put in a good word. She trails off. You have arrived at the unobstructed black-painted door of the office. The knocker bears a grinning silver skull. Inside, the office is funerary, draped in indigo and accented with fussy silver fixtures. The line manager looks up from his desk and glowers at the captain. Where the bloody hell have you been? I'll speak up for the captain. The line manager rants and rages till you manage to interject. Your mention of exceptional circumstances gives him pause. And your production of the captain's own log puts a stop to his complaints. He plainly does not believe you, but he seems afraid of anything in writing. He dismisses you both, but not without a significant reward for your trouble and your immediate departure. Outside, the captain deflates with relief. Thank you, I'll remember your kindness. We got 50 bucks and one new cryptic benefactor. More reports? And we are ready to leave, I think. We can inter a member of our crew. do we want to? What does that do? You know what, let's try it. Let's see what happens. The cheery registrar adopts an expression of practiced solemnity and calls for a footman. The footman asks for a number of questions about the crew member: name, occupation, your niche, candles and how often, flowers, what variety. Eventually he is satisfied and leads you and those of your crew closest to the deceased to the catacombs of the mausoleum. You're guided to a vast tomb where candles have been lit and the scent of lilies is strong. Your crew member is interred in a small drawer in one wall of many. Here your crew member, or some part of them at least, will remain at last at rest. Okay, let's leave. Don't hit the wall. Okay, we can finally go exploring more things. I guess we're gonna head straight southeast through London and over to this region over here. Although we haven't really explored straight south yet either. I have rockets. I'm guessing there's a marauder out there firing rockets around like a maniac, probably at a dreadnought. At a glorious dreadnought, I might add. Oh, it's a grave robber. They have way better guns than most. Also, those glorious dreadnoughts are shooting like flak cannon chain guns. Please don't shoot my ship. I'm looting this thing. Let's try and search it for valuables. It's our only thing we can do. We succeeded. And we have a roll of thirsty bombazine. Let's leave that destroyed sun. Look at the size of that hole in the sun. Hey, we can just stay here too. Why not? There's also something else to the south of us. We got a vision of heaven, and something else down here, and then we'll head southeast. Oh, that's that stupid storm that speaks, which doesn't like us for some reason. Another is saying things. Another vision of heaven. We should trade some of these things away. We could get a ton of sovereigns and experience for turning those in. How many do we have now? We probably have a lot. We have 15 visions of heaven. That's a lot of visions of heaven. Alright, I'm gonna pause the video, jump to after we've already passed London and gone down this way. We're just gonna head straight south, I think, through London. Back shortly though. We're flying through already explored territory. It's not gonna be very exciting. Welcome back, everyone. I have found Perdurance. I actually kind of just did a little semi-loop, seeing if there's anything around here, and there was. Look at this. It's a lovely little building. The Parlour is where we've landed. We've arrived here, finally. Perdurance. On approach, Perdurance looks like an opulent mansion caught partway through a genteel explosion. Each constituent set of rooms accounted for, but separate and out of place. Each is connected in a rough circle by narrow winding passages. The steep roofs are topped with shingled turrets and precarious towers. The elegantly disassembled country house perches atop of a soot-stained windowless factory whose chimney belches gouts of smoke and fire. Let's enter the parlor. The docks face a set of polished oak doors carved with a series of masked figures dancing in the quadrille. The windows in the parlor are shuttered, the light stained with pale yellows, blushing pinks, and bruised violets. Lit with the illusion of dawn, or perhaps dusk, you see a room cluttered with stiff-backed armchairs and decorative chaises, set against savagely floral wallpaper in shades of burgundy, violet, and Brunswick green. A portrait of the Empress, unsmiling, hangs in an ornate gilt frame. A few visitors mill about, casting speculative glances at the exasperated butler while they pretend to examine the decor. We'll write a report. That is, we need to do. Perdurance is a jewel in the Empire's crown, where its favorite sons and daughters are pampered, protected, and preserved. We're gonna end the video here, actually. We're at half an hour or so. And in the next video, we'll do all of the Perdurance things. We have so many things to do here that I think it's going to take a little while. We have 9 invitations to Perdurance. Hopefully that will be enough. If not, we're gonna have to find a way to get more. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Take care.